Hello, my name is Monica Elliott. I am co-president of the League of Women Voters of Broward County and Voter Services Chair. This presentation will explain to League members, especially those who help at voter education events, how to use the online voter registration system or how to help a voter update their registration. We also encourage sharing this video with family, friends, and colleagues who want to register to vote online or need to update their registration. So I'm now going to share my screen. First, in case you are not a League member, the League is a nonpartisan organization, meaning we never endorse or oppose any candidate or party. However, we do encourage informed and active participation in government. We work to increase understanding of major policy issues, and we advocate for legislative policies and changes for the public good. Now, before a person can submit an online application or update their voter registration information, they need to have their Florida driver's license or Florida identification card issued by the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. And this slide is showing just a example of what that looks like. You will also need to know the date the card was issued, and that can be difficult to find. And what you want to do is look for the date after the letters ISS, and the arrow is pointing to that. The person also needs to know the last 4 digits of their Social Security number. Now, to get started, we go to registertovoteflorida.gov. This is what the opening page looks like. Note that a person may continue in English or in Spanish. And if you don't know if you're registered to vote, you can use this website to determine if you are. Otherwise, click on Register or Update to submit a new application or to update a current voter registration. This is what the screen looks like if you clicked on Am I Already Registered? You will need to input your first and last name and the date of birth as shown on your driver's license or ID. Then check the box in the lower left corner and click Submit. If the person is already registered, this is what the screen will look like. It gives all the information associated with your voter registration. If a person is not already registered, this is what the screen will look like. It's saying, nope, doesn't exist. These are some of the reasons possibly why it might not show up. And you will have to go back to registertovoteflorida.gov, the blue arrow. You just simply click on that. So this is the first screen that we complete in the application process. You have to indicate why you are making the application. Is it new, or are you updating information? Maybe your address has changed. You want to change party affiliation. Maybe even your name has changed. So just like on the paper voter registration form, you need to also affirm that you are a U.S. citizen, that you have not been convicted of a felon, or you've had your right to vote restored, and that you have not been adjudicated as mentally incapacitated. Now, please note that if a person has been convicted of a felony and does not know their status, they should not register to vote. At the League table, we have information to give to returning citizens to help them determine their status. Again, if a person does not know whether they should be able to vote or not, they should not go any further. The next screen is where you begin to input your personal identification information. Again, if the person doesn't have the Florida driver's license or ID card, or they don't know the last 4 digits of their Social Security number, they cannot use the online registration system. Now, at the League table, we will have the Supervisor of Elections trifold mailer, which includes the voter registration application and also the vote by mail request. And so you can help this person fill out the form. So they're filling out the paper form. but you do not collect the mailer. The voter is the only one who can seal the mailer up and then put it into the mail to be delivered to the supervisor of election. The league does not collect any paper at all. The other thing I want to mention is the trifold mailers that we will have at our league table is strictly for Broward County. And 99% of the time, we're dealing with Broward County residents. So to continue with the personal identification information, the person must enter the information from their driver's license or ID exactly, and let me repeat that, exactly as it appears on the driver's license or ID. If you don't, this is a screen that will pop up. All the person can do is try again, being sure to input the information exactly as it appears on their driver's license or ID. Once that is completed, the next information requested is the selection of a political party, and I will talk about that a little bit more in the next slide, and to put in their legal residential address. Now, some people receive mail at a different address from where they live, and that's okay. You would simply, that person would simply click no, and then they would input their mailing address. So for a residential address, you cannot enter a post office box number, but a mailing address can be a post office box. So that is important for somebody to know if they use two different addresses. So the next screen is what you will see when you're going to select the political party preference. We need to be sure that we are telling people that Florida is a closed primary state, because especially if they're coming from another state, they may not be used to this system. So they need to know that if they select no party affiliation, which is the very bottom choice, the voter will not be able to vote in the major party primaries. So again, they can go ahead and select no party affiliation, but we just need to be sure that we are educating them as to what this is actually going to mean when it comes to the party primaries. The next screen asks for information that is not necessarily required, but it is very useful to the supervisor of elections if they run into a snag with that person's voter registration. And this might be especially true with a former name. Now on this screen, they're also asking for information that is not required, especially in the top half. But it is very useful for statistical purposes and to those who do get out the vote campaigns. The bottom half, however, is asking if you live overseas, either with the military or as a civilian. Again, while not required to respond to these questions, it is useful to provide to the supervisor of elections as it gives them notice that your vote by mail ballot needs to be sent earlier than to those who live in the U.S. This screen allows you the last chance to edit any information. If satisfied, then read the oath and check the box indicating that you have read the oath. And then note that the information shown here in blue is essentially the statement confirming that the signature on your driver's license or your ID will be the signature of record for your voter registration application. And this is important if you are using a vote by mail ballot. When you submit your vote by mail ballot, after you've completed it, you put it into a mailing envelope and you have to sign it. And people often ask, well, how do I sign it? Well, you just go back and look at your Florida driver's license and use the signature that is on the Florida driver's license. If you're comfortable with everything that is there, all the information is correct, you check the oath box, then click submit. Now, this is the screen that you will next see. And even though you're at a league table at some sort of available event or on campus and you don't have access to a printer, click on the print receipt anyway. Just trust me on this one. This is what the last screen looks like. Have the voter take a screenshot or write down the voter registration application reference number as shown by the arrow. This is proof that this person did register to vote, so that if there is a problem in the future, they can use this reference number. So obviously, it would probably be best to use a screenshot, with their camera phone. But if not, at least write down the reference number. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please send them to me, Monica Elliott, at the address shown on the screen, MELLIOTT, 2 L's and 2 T's, at ufl.edu. Also check out our website at www.lwvbroward.org, and then click on voter information for detailed